I have never, ever heard of bone-in beef jerky. So obviously, we had to make it. Okay, so this whole thing started with a comment in our spam jerky video. Someone asked if we could make a Mongolian BBQ beef jerky recipe, and they even dropped a few ingredients they wanted to see in it. That alone got my gears turning. So I started researching Mongolian beef and Mongolian barbecue recipes. So I stumbled on a guy that's making Mongolian beef in a YouTube video, and the stuff looked legit. So I decided to take his version and the commenters' ideas and mash them all up into our own. But this is where things started to get just a little unhinged. For some reason, and I don't know why, when I think of Mongolian barbecue, I think of ribs. I don't know why. So I'm sure some of you barbecue gurus out there are gonna completely roast me in the comments, because some of you barbecue guys are nuts. I mean that in a good way. But right or wrong, that's what I think of. So as I was walking through the store, usually we would get like a top round or an eye round, but then I found these thicker cut, bone-in short ribs. And something in my brain just said, yup, that's what we're gonna do. So now we're here, making Mongolian barbecue short rib beef jerky. This is a version that nobody in particular asked for exactly how we're doing it, but we're doing it anyway. Inspired by a comment, based on a stranger's recipe, and our passion for continuously trying to find crazy, unique jerky flavors. Okay, listen, in full disclosure, honestly, I have no idea what the hell Mongolian barbecue even is. My only frame of reference on Mongolian barbecue is when you go to those restaurants, you get a little stainless steel bowl, you pack it with rice and noodles and meat and fruits and vegetables and seasonings, whatever, and you take it to some dude standing in front of a big flat top grill. He's got this like spatula the size of like a canoe paddle, and he throws it all on this cooktop and just stirs it all up until it's just a cooked up bowl of deliciousness. Is that even how they eat in Mongolia?
Is Mongolia a place?
Is Mongolia a place?
Is that actually a place?
It's a place. Is that how they eat there? Like honestly,
I don't know.
Are we gonna get canceled for doing this? Okay, so the OG recipe that we're using for the base comes from the Hungry Hussy. Shout out to that dude, the video was legit, but his version was for 1.5 pounds of beef. We're using 6 pounds of short ribs, so we gotta scale it the hell up. Now in his version, he uses cornstarch and baking soda. In stir frying, that helps tenderize and thicken that stuff up a bit. Maybe we should do a video one day about baking soda as a tenderizer. But anyway, we're only making jerky here. We're not stir frying this, we're drying it, so let's leave those out. Here's what's going in the marinade. 3/4 cups of oyster sauce, 3/4 of a cup hoisin sauce, 1/2 cup of soy sauce, 2 teaspoons rice wine vinegar, 8 cloves of garlic, 2 red bell peppers, 2 green peppers, 1 yellow onion, 6 green onions. We're gonna put the white stuff in with the marinade, and we're gonna save the green stuff for garnishing later. And last but not least, 1 big thumb-sized piece of ginger. All right, so the way I'm told to peel ginger is to use a little spoon. 1 thumb-sized peeled ginger. Okay, at this point, that's all the ingredients from the Hungry Hussy's recipe. Now, I still have a couple more ingredients to go from Pappytron's suggestion, but honestly, this thing's pretty full already. So I think I wanna whip this up, make a little bit of room before we add the final ingredients. Okay, now we're getting to Pappytron's comment. In his comment, he requested 2 things that we didn't already put in there. Jalapeno peppers and pineapple. Honestly, I wish I would've got more jalapeno. If I had to do this over, I'd probably at least double this. But we're just gonna trim off the tops and throw it all in, seeds and all. Okay, here's part that I didn't expect. I went to Walmart to get some pineapple. No joke, there's like a pineapple shortage going on right now. I don't know anything about this. I'm not in the pineapple commodity business, but Walmart had literally 0 pineapples. So I got a little bit of the pre-packaged pineapple right there in the marketplace. So we're gonna dump this right in. All right, now let's give it one final mix and I think we're home free. Oh, there's one last thing I wanna add. Even if I had more jalapenos in here, I still would want to add a little bit of jalapeno powder. I like to do it because even though the raw jalapenos still give it a lot of flavor and heat, the powder seems to just hit different levels that the raw peppers don't. So I'm gonna put a couple tablespoons of this in there. One last mix, then we're good. All right, we're using this pre-sliced bone-in short rib. Super convenient as they're already pre-sliced up, but honestly, these are a little thicker than what I'm used to. So I'm gonna open these up, pull them out, and I want to trim the bone out of these. Then after we got them trimmed up, I'm actually going to hit them with my little jacquarding meat tenderizer. It'll help thin this thing out a little bit and open up all the pores. So let's get to trimming. Okay, so these are a little bit fatty, and usually there's a lot more fat around the bones. That's what we do here. We just always try different things. We usually do a top round here. Sometimes, like during Christmas, we do some higher end cuts, filet mignon, ribeye, stuff like that. Okay, hear me out. this may be a stupid idea. What if we left the bone in? I don't know that we have to trim it. This may end up being a stupid idea. Let's do Mongolian BBQ bone-in short rib beef jerky. See where this goes. All right, the other thing I was gonna do is use my tenderizer. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, where you push it and it does a bunch of little knives. Running this tenderizer across this, really beat the hell out of this, is really gonna help thin this stuff out. Really let that marinade soak deep into the pores and help flatten this out a little bit. See, what that does is that breaks through a lot of those fibers, so when it go to eat it, it's easier to tear across. And I'm gonna trim a little bit of the fattier stuff off. I don't mind a little bit of fat here and there, but the obvious pieces here, we'll just get them out. Let me know down in the comments if you think this is a good idea or if I just totally ruined this whole recipe. Now all there is left to do is pour all this marinade in here. Now we just get our hands dirty. You just wanna make sure the surface, every single surface gets covered with this flavor. You really wanna make sure this is completely mixed in. All right, with all that stuff mixed up, and I am not exaggerating, this stuff smells phenomenal. After it's all mixed up, I'm gonna throw a lid on it. We're gonna throw it into the refrigerator for at least 24 hours. I like to let it sit to about 48. And hey, if the idea of bone-in Mongolian BBQ beef jerky made you pause for even a second, if it made you curious, made you laugh, made you wanna try it someday, please consider sharing this video. Send it to yourself, send it to your food nerd cousin, send it to that one friend who always says they're gonna start making jerky. That's how people hear from us, not from the algorithm, good old-fashioned word of mouth. That's the only way we get out there. Okay, it has been a little less than 2 days, 39 hours this has been in the fridge. All right, so I'm just rolling my sleeves up and I'm just getting right into this. These things, I'm telling you, this smells crazy good. All right, this isn't exactly rocket science. You just want to get these pieces out. I'm wiping off the majority of this marinade. A lot of this marinade is really pretty thick. You know, there's a lot of chunky stuff in there. Get some of the obvious chunks off. Then we're just gonna lay these things down as flat as possible. Make sure nothing's folded over, nothing's touching. You just want maximum airflow across all the pieces. And once they're racked up, just throwing them right in the dehydrator. Okay, because of the sheer size of this, I'm gonna hit this at a higher temperature for the first couple of hours, just to make sure everything's good and safe. And then I'm gonna back that down and do it for a lot longer at a lower temperature. I'm gonna start really babysitting these at about 6 or 7 hours. Okay, I really have no idea how these things are gonna turn out. They're a little thicker than we usually use. The bone in, honestly, no clue. All right, I can't believe it took this long, but it took almost 25 hours. The meat itself was very inconsistent on its thickness when we put it in the dehydrator. This is a really good looking piece of jerky right there. All right, you guys ready to go in?
Very flavorful right out the gate. I'll be honest, I feel like it's one of my favorites we've done in the test kitchen in a while. I think it's delicious. It's so good. It's so like strong of a flavor.
I was waiting for someone else to say it because I agree with you. I think this is one of the best ones we've ever made. It's so interesting.
Oh.
The flavor is just off the charts.
Sight unseen, I would have thought that it was weird, but seeing it in person, that looks like steakhouse jerky.
Do you like the idea of eating jerky around a bone? Does it turn you off in a steak or ribs?
Oh, hell no.
No.
I'm all in. That's part of the experience. You know, there's a lot of flavor, a lot of dimension.
Man, I think this is really good all the way around. Like,
Oh, it's phenomenal.
all right, on flavor alone, I'm gonna have to go like 8.9. It's flavorful. It's got a little bit of heat, but not too much. The flavor profile with this meat choice, I'm calling it high 8s, 8, 9.
Crazy, because I was gonna say 8 or 9. So I'm gonna go in the middle, I'll say 8.5 on it.
I'll go on the high end and say 9 just because it's
Dang.
unique and I've never seen it done before.
Yeah, if you like a savory flavor profile with just a little bit of heat, you would absolutely love this one. This one has been a super awesome one, both on the flavor and the texture, and quite honestly, the bone in. I'm not even mad at this. Thanks a million, Pappytron, for the suggestion of Mongolian BBQ, and I think I'm gonna keep playing with some bone in stuff. I think this is really interesting and absolutely fun at the very least. But if you have any good ideas for what we should make for jerky flavors or interesting cuts, let us know down in the comments. Thanks a million for being a part of this one with us, and I'll see you next time in the test kitchen.
Yeah, I think it'd be a top 5 for me, honestly. Like if we actually had it, Are you gonna take one?
There you go.